Bill Nighy, absolute pleasure to chat to you about Emma.
Thank you.
Now, what I love so much about your characters that you often portray in films is that they are quite hilarious, but they've also got a bit of a touching backstory to them. Is it hard for you kind of finding that balance tonally between amusing and touching?
Thank you for saying so. I don't know if it's tricky. Usually, if the writing is good, and I try and, obviously I try and pick things where the script is of a certain quality, then it usually allows for all of that, and within it the mechanism is kind of in place. So, and I'm not always aware either. I'm not particularly aware of all of it. I'm probably concentrating. If I have comedic responsibilities, I'm probably focusing on them because you just think, please God, make this funny, and then therefore the touching bit is I'm not quite sure. It may be something that just happens.
It's just chemical. Because I was going to ask, my second question was, what is the biggest aspect that when you see a script, what's the biggest aspect that you look for in a character?
I don't know. I mean, they're all different, and they could be. It's just the quality. It's the dialogue. Not everyone can write dialogue, and good scripts are quite rare. So when a good one comes, it's a big day, and it's the quality of the dialogue. In the terms of the character, I don't look for a particular kind of character, but I do look for a particular level of writing.
And in this character, you play a neurotic, hypochondriac, quite ridiculous person at times.
Except he's not a hypochondriac, he's a valetudinarian. A hypochondriac, I didn't know this either, a hypochondriac is someone who's obsessed with their own health. A valetudinarian is obsessively concerned with other people's. So he's a control freak to some degree, as is his daughter, plainly, with all her matchmaking activities.
So I was going to say, what a word that is,
I know.
isn't it?
I'd never heard of it until... But it does actually say it somewhere in the book, I believe.
Because I was going to ask, what did you learn about yourself through playing this hilarious neurotic character?
Absolutely nothing.
Do you often not learn anything about yourself through playing these characters?
No, they don't utterly consume me as an actor. I go to work and I try and tell the story as best I can, and if I have to get any laughs, I try and get some laughs, and if I have to do anything, whatever it requires, I don't know that it leads me to any degree of self-awareness. I don't think I'm particularly self-aware anyway. I try and sort of sometimes be sort of self-aware, but I don't think I'm very good at it.
Because the something about comedy is that the timing needs to be on point. And you say you're not self-aware. Do you think it is hard to be funny in general, or do you think if you've got it, it comes naturally?
I think it is hard. They do say, there's that thing they say, dying is difficult, but comedy is hard. I can't remember something like that. There's something like that. But it is a very, it's an elusive thing. I don't know, sometimes often things are funny when the audience laugh. But if you're doing a play, for instance, and you've read the script, obviously, you've learnt the script, and you know where the writer intends the audience to laugh, and you try and arrange to facilitate that. But then there's all these other things that apparently are funny. And they're mysterious, because when in the script they didn't look funny. It's like Billy Connolly, I read, said once that, he would read out an advert on stage about a big pair of slippers. And it was just an advert in the back of the Sunday paper. And it wasn't funny when it was in the paper. It wasn't funny when he was thinking about it before he went on stage. And it wasn't funny after he'd walked off stage. But when he was on stage, he just said the words big slippers, and the audience thought it was hilarious. And people were howling with laughter. He had this whole bit about slippers. It's kind of mysterious.
Because it is funny how the audience does find certain things funny.
Yeah.
Do you think we need more comedy? We need to laugh more?
Well, I do like to do things. I mean, for instance, in the theatre, I don't like to do plays that don't have any jokes in. I think it's sort of bad manners to ask people to sit in the dark for a couple of hours and not tell them a joke. I leave plays without jokes to the younger actor. That's a kind of joke. But I do like things. I think information travels well in joke form. So if you've got if you have a message of some kind and you have it in an attractive package, which in other words, an amusing one, then it travels well.